Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I want to cook some ham steak and the recipe I'm trying to follow is this one from Julia Child. Her recipe of ham sliced, baked with tomatoes, onions, and peppers. So this is this recipe is probably not as famous as her other recipes of ham steak with Madeira sauce. I think something like that. But then I like this recipe because it calls for more vegetables and it allow me to cook a more balanced meal and the kind of like one pan meal with vegetable and meat. So I'm gonna start it. So the idea of this recipe is you're gonna cook like sear ham firstly in a pan, and then you cook some vegetables separately in another pan. And in the end, you kind of put all the vegetable on top of the ham and bake them in the oven. And I'm gonna start to preheat my oven now. So let's get started. Um, so I'm gonna sear my ham here and cook the vegetable in here. So let's first put some oil in there. And then the ham I have is before Christmas I bought a entire like bone-in ham, and then I use the top portion with the bone in my ham soup. If you are interested in, feel free to check out my other video. And then this is the bottom half of the ham, kind of the ham steak and the thicker slices. So that's why I'm gonna use this recipe for ham steaks. So. It was in my freezer for a while, so I'm gonna. I think her recipe calls for like 2 minutes per side. Mm, I mean, I just kind of took all these slices off by hand from the big bone ham, so they may not look as nice as a ham steak you see in the restaurant, but I think they should be all good. So about 2 minutes per side. I'm gonna let it be like this. Now for this side, it's the vegetables. So I pre-warm my pan. First thing you put is about 1 cup of sliced onion, she said. I don't know why she calls for sliced onion instead of chopped onion, but then that's what I'm gonna follow. So sliced onion. Usually when you do sliced onion, you probably want to. I think her recipe calls for 5 minutes. I may not wait as long as she hopes. Because when you do onion, you usually want to make sure your onion is kind of well cooked, kind of start to um, become transparent before you put the next thing in. So I'm gonna do it a little bit. So the next thing she calls for in this vegetable dish is 1 cup of sliced green pepper, green bell pepper. I don't have that. So instead, I'm just gonna put some frozen vegetable from Costco in there. She said 1 cup, but I think since I have more ham, I'm probably gonna do 2 cups. Okay, I think that's a good amount. And then another thing, which is not in her recipe, is a mushroom. So if you read her other recipe of ham steak with Madeira sauce, she actually put a mushroom in the Madeira sauce. In this specific recipe, there's no mushroom, but then since I really like mushroom, so I decided to put some mushroom in there. So this is the mushroom. And then these are some dry mushroom I bought, and then you're gonna have to kind of soak them beforehand. So it has been 2 minutes since I seared this ham. I'm gonna start to flip them to the other side. Looks like I may need more heat. All right, yeah, I'm gonna definitely turn on some heat in there. All right, so since I have a mushroom in there, I may just let it cook a little bit. Um, Another thing is if you're dealing with a dry mushroom, and then if you soak the dry mushroom um, a little bit, you're gonna end up with this kind of soaking water from the dry mushroom. Usually there's a lot of flavor in there, so what I'm gonna do is I will try to dump it back, and usually they have a lot of flavor in there. It may work better if you have a sieve, but then I just kind of let it stay still for a little bit and don't use the bottom part of it. All right, so I'm gonna let this part cook for like 5 minutes, and then at the same time, I will keep searing my ham. All right, so my ham is still searing, and then the vegetable is pretty good now. There's some seasoning she's calling. I think one is 2 cloves of garlic. So I usually just use this minced garlic I bought from the store. They're convenient, just stay in the fridge anytime I want. If you prefer, you can certainly chop up some onion, garlic yourself. She also calls for a quarter teaspoon of thyme. All right. So next thing she calls is 2 pounds of a tomato. I find it's very funny to put a tomato on ham, but I'm gonna follow her recipe anyway. She used a fresh tomato and do some peeling, then the seeded. Usually for me, whenever a recipe calls for tomato, I just use, you know, canned tomato so that it's easy and convenient. So, all right. So that's kind of like my vegetable sauce, I will call it, or topping maybe. Um, and then I think I need to flake my ham. Um, all right, I think I will wait for my ham to finish searing, and then for the vegetable to cook a little bit, and then I will start to assemble them together. All right, so all of my ham, they are all seared now, and then I just kind of stack them up into a big pan. Um, and then this is all the vegetables. So next, I'm gonna just try to put all the vegetables on top of my ham. Um, all right, so that's kind of all the vegetables on ham. There's still quite a lot of liquid in there. So next thing I'm gonna put it on top is some potatoes. So she said this dish gonna pair well, very well with sauteed potatoes, probably at the side. But yeah, I usually just like, a one pan dish. Um, it's kind of more convenient. So I decided to put the potatoes on top. Now, because everything else is already cooked, um, you know. Um, so the potato, I kind of cut them in smaller pieces, like a breakfast potato, and I actually microwave them for like 5 minutes, kind of pre-cook them, similar to how you cook a breakfast potato actually. So I'm gonna put all the potato on top, and I'm hoping that they can get a little bit crispy. So so the next step is we'll just cook it in the oven. So in her original recipe, she said cover them and cook. But then since I still have a lot of liquid and I'm hoping the potato can be crispy, I'm gonna just leave it not covered and bake it in 350. Based on her recipe, it's 20 to 30 minutes. So I'll probably do 20 first and then I'll watch it. If it's become too dry, I'll try to cover it. So I'll take a look after 20 minutes. All right, so I bake it for half hour, and then it actually turned out perfectly. You can see there's still enough juice at the bottom, kind of keep the moisture, keep the mushroom moisture. And then on the top, the potato, you can see it start to get crispy. So I really like it. So next, I'm gonna put it in a plate and let's try it out. All right, so I put everything in a plate. There's crispy potatoes. There's some vegetables with mushroom, and here's a ham in there. So let's first try out the ham. Very good, and soft and tender. And then I usually like ham is kind of like a salty food, and that's why you. All right, so I usually like to pair it out with some starchy food like this crispy potatoes and maybe some salty sauce. The potato is pretty good. Now let's try the mushroom. And I was hoping mushroom, it's with all the ham sauce with all the flavor. Let's try it. Wow, it's really good. I can taste the ham salty flavor, but I really like the idea of having tomato in there. It's actually adds some like sweet and sour flavor in the mushroom, so make it even better. So, all right, so that's my recipe of cooking ham steak, and it's kind of inspired by Julia Child recipe, but I made a lot of changes in there. So hope you like it. Thank you for watching my video. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.